Okay, picture this. You've just cooked something amazing, maybe some really crispy fries, maybe a perfect steak, and you're left looking at the pan, right? It's full of that used cooking oil. What do you do? I mean, pouring it down the drain, we all know that's just, well, terrible for the environment, a big no-no. But what if that leftover oil, that, everyday waste product could actually become something incredible, something that helps us fight the plastic crisis? Welcome to the deep dive.
Exactly. Today, we're really getting into how that exact waste cooking oil, or WCO as it's often called, is being transformed, upcycled really, into a pretty revolutionary material,
Yeah,
bioplastic.
bioplastic from old frying oil. Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah. So our mission today is to unpack how this often neglected resource can genuinely create a path for more sustainable materials. We'll look at some frankly surprising facts and some cutting-edge stuff that could really change things.
Okay, let's start with the problem itself, because getting rid of this oil improperly, it's more than just a blocked sink at home, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's a major source of water pollution. It messes up entire aquatic ecosystems, blocking oxygen, harming wildlife. And it can even pose risks to human health indirectly.
And you mentioned the scale of it is large.
It's staggering, truly staggering. Globally, we think somewhere between 20 and maybe 32% of all the oil we consume for cooking ends up as waste.
Wow.
It-
What does that translate to in actual volume?
We're talking millions upon millions of tons every year. And projections show that figure increasing maybe by another 25% just by 2025. It's huge.
25% increase soon. That's a lot of oil.
It is. And here's the really concerning part. Despite that massive volume, estimates suggest only about 2.5%, a tiny fraction, is actually collected and recycled properly right now.
Only 2.5%. That's criminally low. Think of all that waste, that potential just going down the drain or into landfill.
Precisely. The loss potential is enormous. And that's why we desperately need better solutions. Which brings us to the exciting part,
Okay, give us the good news.
right? Enter polyhydroxyalkanotes, PHAs for short.
PHAs, okay.
These are a family of bioplastics, and what makes them so special is that they are genuinely biodegradable and also biocompatible, meaning they can break down naturally in the environment, unlike conventional plastics.
Which is crucial, right? Because traditional plastics are such a persistent problem. I saw a stat that something like, 90 or 91% of all plastic ever made hasn't been recycled.
That's broadly correct. Around 91% globally is not recycled. It ends up polluting landfills, rivers, oceans. It's a crisis.
Yeah.
So finding viable alternatives like PHAs is incredibly urgent.
So these PHAs, made from waste oil, could be a genuine alternative.
That's the potential, yes. And the way it's made is fascinating. It involves microbial magic.
Microbial magic. Okay, you can't just leave it there. Tell me more.
Oh, right. Well, there are certain types of bacteria, specific microbes, that are the real heroes here. Think of species like Cupria vitis nicator or some types of Pseudomonas.
Okay, bacteria. How do they turn oil into plastic?
They can directly metabolize the free fatty acids that are abundant in waste cooking oil. They basically eat the oil.
They eat the oil.
They eat the oil.
Mm.
And what's really advantageous is that this process often requires very little or sometimes even no pretreatment of the oil.
No pretreatment. That sounds like a huge plus. Usually, feedstocks need a lot of cleaning up, right?
Exactly. That can add significant cost and complexity. So being able to use the WCO more or less directly is a massive benefit for efficiency and economics. It makes the whole thing much more practical.
So these tiny organisms are just munching away on leftover chip fat.
Pretty much.
Right.
And as they consume it, they accumulate PHA polymers inside their cells as a form of energy storage, like storing fat. But the fat they store is actually this plastic-like material.
And they store a lot of it.
Oh, yes. The accumulation rates can be really impressive. We're seeing ranges reported from maybe 27% of their dry cell weight all the way up to, in some cases, a remarkable 96%.
96%. So the bacteria basically become little bags of bioplastic.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. They become packed with the stuff.
That is incredible. And you mentioned different types earlier. Are there variations in the PHA they make?
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the microbial strain and sometimes the conditions, you can get different types. Some produce what we call seral PHA, short chain length PHA. That tends to be more rigid, thermoplastic. Think materials for packaging or containers.
Okay, like traditional plastics in some ways.
Sort of, yes, but biodegradable. Then others produce MCL PHA, medium chain length. This type is more elastic, rubbery. It has really interesting potential applications in, say, cosmetics, or even advanced medical uses like tissue engineering scaffolds.
Wow, so it's versatile too, not just one type of plastic replacement.
Very versatile.
Oh.
And researchers are constantly working to improve things further, boost the efficiency beyond just the basic fermentation.
How are they doing that? What are the innovations?
Well, one really clever approach is co-production. Some of these amazing microbes can actually produce other valuable compounds at the same time as the PHA.
Like what? What else can they make?
Things like biosurfactants, for example. These are like natural, eco-friendly soaps or detergents. Rhamnolipids are a common example.
Hmm.
Or even pigments like carotenoids.
Ah, okay. So you get the bioplastic and something else useful out of the same process.
Exactly. And the beauty of that is you can potentially share the operational costs.
Mm.
The economics start to look a lot better if you're producing multiple high-value products from the same cheap waste stream.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Smart. What else?
Then there's direct engineering of the microbes themselves. Scientists are using genetic tools to tweak the bacterial strains.
Tweaking them how? To make them eat faster.
Partly that, yes. Improve their ability to utilize the oil, maybe tolerate impurities better, but also to fine-tune the properties of the PHA they produce, like controlling the chain length we talked about, to get exactly the material characteristics you want.
Right. Custom designing the plastic at the microbial level, that's pretty advanced.
It is. But managing all this, it gets complicated, right? You've got variable waste oil coming in, complex biological processes, different potential products. How do you actually optimize everything efficiently?
Yeah, that sounds like a big challenge. How do you figure out the perfect conditions, the best strains, especially when the starting material, the oil, might change from batch to batch?
Precisely. And that is where artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning are becoming absolute game changers in this field.
Okay, AI enters the picture. How does it help with microbes making plastic from oil?
In several ways, AI algorithms can analyze huge data sets from fermentation runs. They can predict how changes in, say, the oil composition or the temperature or the pH will affect the PHA yield and quality.
So it helps you dial in the conditions perfectly?
Exactly. It can identify the optimal parameters much faster than traditional trial and error experiments,
Yeah.
but it goes further. AI can even help guide the strain development itself by simulating the effects of genetic modifications before scientists even do the lab work. You can model how changing a gene might impact oil uptake or PHA production pathways. It saves an immense amount of time and resources.
Wow. So AI is basically making the whole discovery and optimization process smarter and much, much faster.
That's the goal, yes. Making it more efficient, more predictable, and ultimately helping to bring down the costs.
Which brings us to the challenges, I suppose. Because it sounds amazing, but it can't be all smooth sailing.
No, absolutely not. There are definitely hurdles. A major one is cost. Currently, producing PHAs, even using waste streams, tends to be more expensive than making conventional petroleum-based plastics.
How much more expensive are we talking?
Well, estimates vary, but PHA might be around, say, $4 per kilogram, whereas traditional plastics like polyethylene or polypropylene can be down around $1 to $2 per kilogram.
Okay, that's a significant difference. Twice or even 4 times the price.
It is. And that's a major barrier to widespread adoption, of course. Then there are logistical challenges. Think about collecting all that waste cooking oil. It's generated everywhere, from restaurants to homes. Setting up efficient collection networks isn't trivial.
Right, it's scattered all over the place.
Exactly. And the oil itself can be variable. It can contain impurities, water, food scraps, which can sometimes inhibit the microbes if not managed properly. And oil, being hydrophobic, doesn't always mix easily with the water-based fermentation medium.
So if it costs more and there are these practical issues, how does it realistically compete? How do we get this off the ground at scale?
That's the key question. And AI helps address some of this, as we discussed, by managing variability and optimizing processes to improve yield, potentially lower costs. Technology improvements are constantly chipping away at that cost difference. But another crucial piece is standardization. We need more standardized methods for characterizing the waste cooking oil itself, so results are comparable, and standardized production protocols. This would make it easier for companies and researchers globally to collaborate, share data, and really scale up the technology. Policy support and incentives can also play a big role in bridging that initial cost gap.
Right, creating a level playing field or even giving it a boost because of the environmental benefits.
Exactly. It requires a combination of technological innovation, logistical solutions, and supportive frameworks.
So wrapping this up then, what's the big takeaway for us, for you listening?
I think the big picture here is this incredible synergy. We're taking something that's a widespread, problematic waste product,
Hmm.
used cooking oil,
Something most of us deal with regularly.
right? And through the power of microbial biotechnology, these tiny natural powerhouses, enhanced and optimized with the precision of artificial intelligence, we're transforming that waste into a high-value, sustainable, eco-friendly material.
From the fryer to the future of packaging, potentially.
That's the vision. Imagine a world where the oil you used for dinner last night genuinely becomes part of the biodegradable packaging for your groceries next week, all thanks to these microscopic helpers guided by intelligent machines.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, about the hidden potential in things we usually just throw away.
Absolutely. The ingenuity of nature combined with our own innovation, it's quite remarkable. It leaves you wondering what other waste materials out there are just waiting for us to discover their hidden, sustainable treasures. What else can we transform?